If this is that marketing channel, why would I not be doing it?
Hold on. I don't want to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but it's a great statement to make. For me, I think it's in, let me go 7 layers deep, just be real. That I wanted to do it was to document my journey so it could hold me accountable.
The community made me get more serious about it. But it doesn't have an expiration date. It's still on YouTube. It's still out there. It's not just a one-man job. It really takes a team. What's up, everybody? It's Chase and J Miles, and welcome to another episode of the Power Unit Success Cast. This is a special episode. I'm going to bring someone on very special to my whole operation. This is one of my business partners who gets to see a lot of the things that happen behind the scenes that most of you don't see. A lot of y'all see the content, the output, but I want to talk with him about kind of what content can do for you, like what opportunities it can open up for you. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring him on. His name is Freedom Johnson. You've probably seen him in some of my trainings and in my challenges. Let's welcome Freedom. What's up, Freedom? Welcome to the podcast.
What's going on, man? How you doing over there?
I am doing very well. So I kind of gave everyone an intro as to just certain things that you do here in my whole operation. But right quick before we get into it, how about you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? And I mean, you can even share how we came about.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what's up, everybody, man? Freedom Johnson, real estate investor and entrepreneur, specializing in short-term rentals and building passive income through that. So I think, well, actually, we met. How did we meet? I remember just pulling up on you one day, just coming out there. I saw you were doing some real estate investments, and I came through because I was doing the same thing and was like, hey, here's what I'm doing. What are you doing? I put some courses together, man, but I want to level up in content and build a partnership and kind of just be around other creators. And I think we were both going down that same path. You were already there. Like you were years ahead of me, and I was still playing with the idea, but we kind of just collaborated just on having that same mindset of, you know, building content and just helping other people out from a digital marketing space. And we just been rocking ever since, man.
Yeah, you know, when we first met, I did not think it would end up here, you know,
Me neither.
Yeah, to where it's working so closely together. But, you know, I'm glad it did, because when you start producing content at this high of a level and educating people, you know, events and courses and communities, I mean, it's not just a one-man job. It's not just a one-woman job. It really takes a team. And Freedom is a part of that team here in my operation, and we work closely together, not only in a sense of him working for me, but more collaborative, as both of us are working through, hey, how can we be more beneficial? How can we level up, provide more to the community, just all that stuff. And it just kind of came about.
Yeah, it really just came like this cool little dope brotherhood that just happened. If it got to give credit to real estate, first of all, for even putting us in that same world together, right? Like you being an investor, me being an investor, and both of us being realtors. And I think had it not been for that, I gotta give all the credit to real estate first, because if I wasn't in that world and hadn't created courses teaching other people how to do real estate, then I probably wouldn't have been of much value because I didn't have anything to work with as far as the language and creating courses. So shout out to real estate for bringing us together, but just taking that action and then just not wanting to do it alone. You know what I mean? Because I don't know about you, but I know for me, I was getting pretty tired of building content by myself. I was really looking for like that community, other people who were doing it as well. Because like you just said, it's no fun doing it by yourself. And I've done that too many times to continue on with that path.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking about content, you know, I said that we would kind of chat about what content can do for you, so the different opportunities that it can bring, or you know, just things like that. But why do you feel the urge or need to put out content, like you personally?
For me, I think it's in. All right, let me go 7 layers deep. Just be real. I think there's a sense of, people have been introduced to how to do things from, paying $10,000 or $50,000 to learn how to do like step A and step B. And for me, I wanted to demystify that that's the only way you can do it to learn it. So I wanted to create content just to show the average Joe who was maybe skeptical or new to the business, whatever business they were in. But for me, it was, real estate, course creating, and short-term rentals. I just wanted to introduce that to somebody who was still in that I'm thinking about it phase. So I really was doing it just to show people, if they consider it, here's some content for you to get educated before you pay $50,000. The second reason that I wanted to do it was to document my journey so it could hold me accountable as well. Because if I'm putting these videos out and I'm saying I'm doing thing A to the world, if I don't do it, eventually you're going to get a comment or a DM back like, hey, are you still in it? So I did it for the accountability part as well. But what I learned after the documentary style is that it created like a brand and a name, and people wanted to reach out to me because of the content I was putting out, and that's when it was like, oh wow, content really can grow my business. So it was for those three reasons for sure. Well, I would say the first two is what the goal was, and then I learned like, it can grow your brand by
Yeah.
staying consistent.
Yeah, and I would say, that's one of the things that you do learn, but it comes after the fact, right?
Yeah.
People try to go into creating content with this intention of, oh, I want to create content in order to get XYZ, right? They see people getting opportunities or getting deals, brand deals, whatever kind of deals, and it's like, okay, hey, what do I need to buy? What kind of camera? Who do I need on my team in order to get a deal like that? When actually it happens the opposite, right? Like, you put out the content first, and then the deals come, and then the people come. And I started similar to you. I started by just documenting, right? Because for me personally, I wasn't at that level that I felt like I could educate somebody, and I didn't have enough experience. I didn't do enough yet. But what I did do was I just documented what I was actually doing every day and what I was going through, and I was vulnerable enough to put that out there publicly, and that's when all of the stuff started coming. So that's an important lesson for people, though.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I was so bad. If you go back to my first original YouTubes, I was shooting them vertically. I didn't even know how you were supposed to be shooting on YouTube. You know what I mean? So I got all these, I don't know how many, I probably had to go back and check, but maybe 10 videos on YouTube looking like they supposed to be Instagram reels.
Yo, that's crazy. And yeah, I definitely know what you mean about that. And it's super important to learn your platforms. That's a big thing. And when I was getting started on YouTube, I didn't know how YouTube worked. And I only started with my phone. I didn't even have a mic. I didn't know all this SEO stuff. I didn't know how to create thumbnails. As a matter of fact, since YouTube had that thumbnail generator where it just takes a clip of your video and makes it a thumbnail, that's what I was rolling with, because I didn't know how to use it. But something turned to where I said, hey, I want to get serious about this. And that's when I had to start learning, and once you learn, that's truly when you earn, right?
That's real. That's real. When did you think that creating content was going to be something that you wanted to do? Because most people, just out here starting, just making family vacation videos. When did you say, nah, I want to actually be serious about this?
For me, I think it was more so the community made me get more serious about it, right? Like, as I started seeing comments and subscribers and likes, and people were asking questions, and they wanted to know more about what I was talking about, or how they can do it too, or could I talk about this? At that point, I felt like I had kind of like an obligation, to really give the people what they wanted. And it hasn't stopped even to today. So I wouldn't even feel right as a person just cutting it all off. Now, I will say I started taking it more seriously when I noticed things were coming from it, right? Like when I noticed things and people were reaching out to me like, can I interview you for this, or can you be on that? And that's when I was like, all right, this can actually turn into something bigger.
Yo, break that down, like that first time somebody reached out, like when you had that aha moment, like, oh, creating content and videos is doing something else for me. Like, tell me that, like, break that first experience down.
Yeah, I'll never forget the first time. Actually, I was sitting in my office, and back then I would put my phone number on everything, my email address, because I was doing it for real estate. Like I was trying to get clients, and crazy thing, someone called my phone. And it wasn't even real estate related. They provided a service to real estate agents, and they were like, hey, I'm having a group of my high-level students. We're going to be wrapping up on a mastermind next week, and could you come in and speak to the group on the last day? And I was sitting there like, speak to the group, and I didn't know what I would talk about. I was like, what do you want me to talk about? And he said, just how you grow on social media and how you create videos and this and that. And I wasn't even thinking of myself as like an expert or nothing. I was purely just putting up videos because I was trying to get real estate business. But people were seeing me in another light. So he called me. I accepted, even though I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I didn't know none of that. But I accepted, and I showed up to that event. And it was in a hotel room, in a penthouse hotel room, and it was a lot of older people, and not like old, but they were much older than me. I was probably 25 at the time, 25, 26 at the time. They were older than me, and I'm sitting there talking to them about putting out videos on YouTube and on social media. And I didn't have all these big results or anything, but I knew looking back at it that I was the exception, right? I wasn't that average person anymore because I was putting myself out there. And even today, right? Like people who put themselves out there on social media, you still don't really realize how you stand out because there's so many people who aren't. So it automatically elevates you. And that's what happened to me. I got automatically elevated because I was found. Once that situation happened, I was like, okay, I knew more was going to come of that,
Yeah. So whenever you were in that room, like what was that room about? You said it was about like social media, or what was it about again?
Yeah, so the whole tone of the mastermind was how you can lead generate online, right? And so it wasn't necessarily about YouTube or this or that. It was just how you can lead generate, and video happened to be one of those subjects that they were talking about. And so he brought me in to talk about doing YouTube videos. And again, thinking back, I wasn't even a big creator. I didn't have a lot of following, nothing like that, but I was consistently doing it, I don't even remember what my message was, to be honest with you, but it was an experience.
Well, I think just hearing that, man, just the fact that you're making content, like you said, how it elevates you whenever you're in that room talking about it, because I think that's probably what stops a lot of people. So, I mean, just from your own experience, being a consistent content producer, like, why do you think it's such a bold act to people to create content? Why is that why is that magnified when it comes to, people who are creators? Why? Because I have my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Why is that such a big thing to people?
For me, I think that people are more so attached to the result, right? Whereas I started out documenting, in hopes of helping people really see how this business is. I felt like when I got into the real estate business, there was a lot of things that weren't told to me, and maybe I might have chosen a different road to go down. But today, people only decide to create content when they want something out of it, right? They want to lead, or they want to be able to sell this, or they just want fame, but they want something out of it. And when they realize that, hey, that result is not coming quick enough, then they think it's not working, and they start to give all this self-doubt and self-talk, like, oh, nobody wants to listen to me, I'm not interesting enough, I don't know how to do this, and then it makes you completely stop. That's what's happening today. Instead of someone going into it with the intention of, hey, I got a message and I just want to share it. Because when you have that message and you're passionate about that message and people knowing it, it doesn't matter if nobody listens to it or not. Like, nobody was listening to my stuff. I literally felt like I was getting 10, 11 views on stuff. Nobody was listening, but I was passionate about what I wanted to share. And that's what kept me doing it. Heck, you can even say it was more of a release for me than being attached to that end result. And so for me, I think it's more so people are attached to that result of what they see other people get.
Now that makes a lot of sense, because whenever you said like the end result, like the end was, I don't know if it is an end whenever you truly become a producer or content creator. Like the end goal is to stay consistent, right? So when I hear people say like the goal is to get a lead, I don't know about you, but in my head, what I hear is that people have an expiration date, and they also have like a certain amount of I guess tolerance for it. Like if they don't get X by this amount of time, then creating content is it's not really important to them. So I think how you said you started out just documenting the process, right? Just showing your journey and being a release, a form of therapy for you. You didn't need to have an end result of let me go get leads from it, because you jumped into it because I'm passionate and I just want to document my process. And a byproduct was you get leads and build a brand. But yeah, I think whenever I hear people say I want to lead generate and I want to use video, a lot of times I feel like people have an expiration date on that. Like, I'll do this for so long. I won't commit to 6 months for this if I get nothing, because if I get nothing, that means it's irrelevant, and that's not really true. So
Yeah.
I like that you even said that.
Even with that, I'll say for the video and for the content, once you put it out there, it doesn't have an expiration date. Like it stays out there and it multiplies, and even when you think it's deleted, it's not really deleted. Crazy thing with this, so I was recently on NBC. I was on NBC Nightly News, or NBC News Now, with a subject speaking about racism within real estate and things like that. But I remember when I got the call about being on NBC, and I'm not just talking about the local NBC, I'm talking about the national one. I remember when I got the call, they had asked me, hey, we're looking for someone to comment about what's going on in the industry as it relates to this subject, right? Can you do it? And I was like, sure. I'd never done that before, but I wasn't gonna turn it away. And when I had the second phone call with the producer, I straight up asked him, I said, how did you find me? Out of all the agents, why pick me? And he said, you were in our system under real estate, right? And I know I didn't put my name and stuff in the system, but somebody had to, right? Now, I released a video probably 5 years ago. No, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably like three or 4 years ago, where I was talking about being a black real estate agent or being black in the real estate industry. And that video, again, was released a long time ago. And I know in my heart of hearts however I got in that system or whatever made them reach out to me on this particular subject had to be directly related to that video, because I'm one of the only people who have come out and publicly spoken about racism in real estate. But tying back to the expiration date, this video wasn't new. It wasn't a viral sensation that happened overnight, and I didn't have an intention behind it.
How old would you say the video was, like whenever you created it to when you got that call from NBC?
So this call just came this year. Like, this call just came probably 2 months ago.
Okay.
That video was uploaded, I would say, in 2019, probably.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have an expiration date, right?
Yeah.
It's still on YouTube. It's still out there. And I've had several opportunities come from videos that I've put out there 5, 6, 7 years ago, just because I put that out there, right? But there's no expiration date for this stuff. And I didn't create that video with the intention of, hey, this is what's gonna get me on the news, or this is what's gonna get me contributing to this magazine or that, or this is what's gonna lead to me speaking on a stage. No, it was me just putting out the content. So yeah, that's important to know.
So when you talk about like building a brand and creating content, what would you say is like, what's one of the drivers to you to stay consistent, making content?
Well, I think of it like part of my job, so think about whatever business you're running. You probably have to do the accounting. You probably have to order supplies when you need them. You probably have to hire new team members. And there are those day-to-day activities, checking your email, your voicemails, all of that kind of stuff in order to bring in business, in order to service your business. Then there's marketing, right? Marketing drives business, and you have to market your business for people to know about it. We know that most people see marketing and consume content. They're on these social media platforms all day and night, right? This is the new form of marketing. With that being the case, why wouldn't I, for the sake of my business, for the sake of my family, my lifestyle, why wouldn't I be putting my business on social media? Why wouldn't I be marketing myself on social media? If this is that marketing channel that millions and billions of people are consuming content on, why would I not be doing it? And
hold on, because I like that. I don't want to interrupt you, but it's a great statement to make. But we know there are people who just don't know how to fit in their schedule content and making people aware about their business. So I mean, like, talk to the person who's like, yeah, I know it's important, but they're still not doing it. Like, why would they do it?
But it's important to break up who these people are, because someone who is so busy and they have so much business going on doesn't feel that overarching need to put out content because they have a good thing going. It is that person who has no business, who isn't doing much, that wants to make an excuse and say,
all about the day, right?
No, I mean, it's literally, they want to make an excuse for why they have no business, and they know that by putting out content, they can potentially get some business, but at the end of the day, it's purely just an excuse. So for those people, my message would be, is it hard enough yet? Is the pain deep enough yet? Right? Because if you had it going on, you wouldn't feel that overarching, I need to put out content.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's good. Does it hurt enough yet? Golly, like, you just came right at him for that one.
Yeah, man. Well, look, Freedom, this has been awesome. We got to wrap up here, but I want to continue this conversation and keep it going. So, y'all, I believe that there's going to be a part 2 to this, and I hope you've been able to find it valuable and get some great little nuggets, hopefully some life-changing gems from it. Drop a comment, subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it, because I mean, yeah, I didn't think we would go all the places we went today, but unfortunately we're also out of time. But any final words, Freedom?
Man, I would say when it comes to building your brand, do the thing that you're passionate about and just so happen to talk about it on camera, because other people, no one can know about you if you're not making yourself available on these outlets and platforms. So just do what you're passionate about and just so happen to talk about it on camera. Shoot your shot. Nobody can ever build opportunity or partnership with you if you're never even making yourself available. So
Boom. I love it,
that's it.
man. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you for being here. Thank you all for listening. See you next time.